All right, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back. You know the name Donna Rice. If you remember, you harken back to the 1987 or 1988 presidential election. Also, a very nice jeans commercial thrown in there as well in the aftermath. But now Donna Rice Hughes is a very different person, doing a whole bunch of different things. She's the CEO of a very important company called Enough is Enough. And Donna joins us now. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Steve.
Good to talk to you. Boy, 1987 seems like forever away, doesn't it?
Well, it was over, obviously, 30 years ago. And for the past 23 years, I have had the wonderful opportunity to be working with Enough is Enough as its CEO, fighting to make the Internet safer for children and families. So it's been quite a long career so far. And we've been very involved in legislation to protect kids on the Internet from pornography, sexual predators. We deal with issues like cyberbullying. And a number of years ago, just actually about 5 or 6 years ago, we actually created a curriculum for parents to teach them about how to protect their kids online. It was a DVD and a workbook curriculum, and we got it on PBS, and we won an Emmy Award for it. So we've been busy.
How did you? What drove you? I mean, you like you said, you named some of the things that your company and organization have been doing: the sexualization of children, objectification of women, internet law. How did you get into all that, and why?
Well, I'll give you the short answer. I moved back to Washington to get married, and this opportunity came up. And at the time, the organization Enough is Enough, they were just dealing with the prevention of exploitation, primarily caused by pornography in the offline world, hardcore material, child pornography, etc. And when I started was right at the beginning of the Internet. And I was a big fan of what I thought the Internet would become, and that's how we got started. We were really the very first organization to actually start talking about issues like Internet safety and Internet pornography, and we really spearheaded that movement then, and I had the opportunity to be the out-front person on that, and to also be able to use all of that media platform that I had, like you mentioned, from 1987 in a positive way, which was why I never exploited that situation. I decided to take the high road, not make all the money that was offered to me, because I believed it could be used for something good and for something better for mankind. And so that's how I got on this path, and that's still where I am.
Well, good for you. And you're here with us today in part to talk about Enough is Enough, but also we have a little thing happening in 5 days. I know you've noticed because I know who you're supporting. Tell us who you're supporting for next Tuesday's election and why.
Thank you. Yes. Well, let me say this. I am conservative and I am a Christian. And so for me, there's only one choice, and that is Donald Trump and Mike Pence, because they are the conservative ticket. And I'm very much aligned with the GOP platform as well, because I'm very, being a pro-life woman is very important to me. And that is a litmus test. So, and there's so many other reasons. I really believe that Donald Trump and Mike Pence are on the right track. Their philosophy of government is a Reagan-type philosophy, and what I believe is also the philosophy of our founding fathers, and that is a government that is for the people and by the people, a much smaller government. Whereas the other choice is more of a larger government run by elites, and that hasn't worked for us very well. And I feel very strongly about a number of the issues besides the pro-life issues as well. But I also believe that the conservative message and the GOP platform for Christians, especially, and Catholics and people of faith, very much align with biblical principles, much more so than the other party.
I know you also feel strongly about many of the policies of Obama that you and I both believe, and probably a majority of Americans believe, have failed. Talk
Right.
about, but that ties in with something else that I want to talk to you about that I know you're interested in, and that's media bias. I mean, you were, you were a victim of the media way back then, and maybe in some circles you still would be. I don't know. But when you look at what's going on here, I mean, look at how the FBI has been stifled and stymied, and roadblocks put up by the Justice Department, whose head met with Bill Clinton on an airplane when the FBI is looking to investigate the Clinton Foundation. Look at the lawyer, former lawyer for John Podesta, who's big in the Justice Department, who reportedly is given to Podesta tips about things, hearings and whatnot when Hillary's going to be involved. I mean, can you ever have imagined that this could be happening and basically the media couldn't care less?
Well, you're right. Media bias is very big, and I think we're seeing it in a much bigger way during this election than we've ever really seen. It's been quite extraordinary, and this is why, in fact, I'm actually writing an op-ed on this because I believe that the electorate they really need to make sure that they're getting educated and that they're factoring in media bias when they're looking at and trying to decide who they're going to vote for, because, as you know, there is a big swing vote that are women, educated women with college degrees, and even some evangelicals are just scratching their head and they're staying home because they don't like either candidate. And I think our message needs to be, look, we have this enormous opportunity and responsibility to vote. And there's plenty of information that is reliable that you can get. You can go to each of the party platforms and see what their positions are. You can go to each of the candidates' websites and see what their positions are. And this is a very important thing to do. And then align those positions as best you can with your own values. And here's something else a lot of people don't talk about, and that is we're not just electing a president and a vice president. We're electing an entire administration. As soon as the new president the next day, their advance teams start getting everything into place, and there are over 7,000 appointees that will be spread across all the government agencies and sitting on various boards and commissions. And, of course, there's the Supreme Court, which is another big factor. And so these are big. This is an important, what I believe, a vector, fork-in-the-road decision for America. We've got two different philosophies of government, two different philosophies of economy, immigration, foreign policy, et cetera, et cetera.
Everything.
So everybody needs to get, everything's on the table right now. And you're right, the media needs to be more fair. And so I recommend, don't just watch one channel. Go back and forth, do a little surfing. Now it's okay to surf the internet and to surf with your TV clicker and try to get the whole truth.
Well, tell folks how they can find out more about Enough is Enough. You got a website, I'm sure. We
do. We have several, but go to enough.org. That's www.enough.org. And I will tell you that we actually put together the Internet Safety, Children's Internet Safety Presidential Pledge, asking the next president to agree to enforce all the laws to protect the children.
Great.
Kids on the internet.
Very, very important. Donna, great to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at a sermon this past Sunday, I want you to see who mentioned me and this show while talking about Jews and Richard Pearl and neocons. Watch.
Richard Pearl and the American government created the opposition to Gaddafi. On the Steve Malzberg show on Newsmax TV, the former Assistant Secretary of Defense discussed the connotations of the term neocon. It's often used to describe Jewish Americans because, as it happens, some of the original thinkers whose ideas have now been characterized by this general term, neoconservative, were in fact Jewish. And it often carries conspiratorial tones on the part of people who throw the term around.
Louis Farrakhan, I have arrived. What do you know? The subject in one of the subjects in his speech on Sunday. Wow. All right, up next, Trump's senior economic advisor, the one, the only, Larry Kudlow joins us, so keep it right where it is.